Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. Today is Monday, January 4th, 2021. My name is Will, and these are my thoughts. So if you're watching this video, you made it to 2021. Congratulations. As you can see, we've had a little bit of a change of venue here. A big part of our Christmas plans was to upgrade my office, and so it has been done. And I just want to say a quick apology about how the channel ended at the end of 2020. I had obviously initially planned to get the third part of our series about the inspiration for a seamless transition out before the year ended, but before Christmas I got a little bug, not that bug, and that just prevented me from wanting to do or being able to do anything video related. So we will pick up on that eventually. But today I want to take a little bit of time to memorialize and wrap up 2020 and find some things to look forward to in this new year. And just to give the obligatory seamless transition mention, we are up to our fundraising goal, and the manuscript, which was completed towards the end of December, has been sent off to the editor, which is very exciting and also very expensive, but that means that within the next month and a half, we will have a final manuscript, things that you guys will actually read when the book comes out, fully done, totally done, all of the I's dotted, T's crossed, commas, periods, exactly where they're supposed to be, which is very exciting. It seems kind of crazy to think that we're going to be at that point so soon, but we are. And that's a big win to see something that you've worked hard on come to fruition like that. So I do want to take this time to say thank you to the people that have already bought the book, and just throwing it out there. If you would still like to buy the book, we are extending the pre-order period, the pre-order period, through the national title game next Monday. So if you would like to get the book, it is $20 for a hardcover copy, $10 for a paperback copy, and any of those signed, or any of those from that group will be signed. And there's a pretty good chance, I don't want to say too much, that you will be able to get the book earlier than everyone else. So that will hopefully also incentivize getting it now. But without further ado, let's talk about 2020, which I know is like the last thing that a lot of you guys want to do, but it, regardless of how insane of a year it was, it still bears reflecting on. Even independent of the pandemic, 2020 would have been a big year for us because we didn't live here when it started. Moving from Birmingham, which is my hometown, was obviously a pretty big deal for us, and trying to entrench yourself in a community in the middle of something like COVID-19 has not been easy, but we really like our new hometown and are very thankful to have been afforded the opportunity to get to know it and hopefully make it a home going forward. And around the time we moved to Greenville, I wrapped up the podcast that I'd been working on with UAB for about a year called Memories, which was an incredible experience, and I'm super grateful to have been given that opportunity. It was pretty bittersweet for it to have finally ended. We did something like 35 episodes over the course of 10 or 11 months, and it was just great from start to finish. I really enjoyed it, and I would be so happy and so lucky to get to work on a cool project like that in the future. And the pandemic happening had a lot of knock-on effects professionally, but one of those was happily being able to have a lot of time to write. And between the time when all the shutdowns started happening back in March and now, I finished my first book, which will hopefully be getting published eventually. And then I wrote and finished 2 more, which sounds like a lot, but some people baked sourdough. I just happened to be into writing books and had a lot of time to do it. Now, will all 3 of those projects end up getting published? I hope so, but nevertheless, it was a really cool opportunity to be able to write them and tell the stories that I wanted to tell. And kind of with that in mind, I do want to talk about some of the goals that I have for 2021. The first of which is getting one of the things I've worked on traditionally published. Now, I'm going to do actual videos on these things in the future, but for now, I'll give you just a very basic breakdown of the types of publishing. So for Seamless Transition, that book is going to be self-published by me, which means that I am putting it out into the marketplace. I am getting it edited. I am controlling the final cover design, the final formatting, all that kind of stuff. That goes through me, which is good because it means I have a lot of, 100% say in what actually goes in the book, but also a lot of the onus is on me to make those things happen. So there are definitely benefits to it and drawbacks. And the opposite of that is what we would refer to as traditional publishing, which is where you send your stuff either to an agent or a publisher. You don't have to pay any money for them to publish it most of the time, but the barrier for entry is a lot higher. And that is because they are going to be in charge of editing the book, getting it distributed, marketing it, all that kind of stuff. So while you forego a lot of the control you would have in a self-publishing situation, you also don't have to deal with a lot of the kerfluffle of getting a book out into the marketplace, which is harder than you might think. And it's also a lot harder than you might think to actually get that kind of publisher to accept your manuscript and want to publish it. So it's something I've been at really since the pandemic started. I can remember sitting in a coffee shop in Birmingham right as everything was about to shut down and just querying agents. And like I said, I'll put out another video explaining what that means and just the vortex of time that it has become. But I have not been overly successful so far in crossing that barrier of entry that I mentioned earlier. And for 2021, I would like something that I have either already written or that I will write eventually to be traditionally published. If for nothing else, that will give me the experience of having self-published something and then having had something traditionally published and being able to tell the difference between the two processes and trying to figure out which one I would want to pursue with other projects going forward. And speaking of other projects, I want to write something new in 2021. I don't know if that's another book because, like I said, I already have a lot of content that I've already worked on and am still in the process of trying to figure out where it's all going to go. So it may not be a full-on book, but some sort of project for you guys to be able to consume. So those would be my two main goals for 2021. Get something traditionally published, either that I've already made or that I will make, and then write something new, whether that's a big book project or something smaller. And I'm mentioning that so that you guys can hold me accountable to that and so that we can all go on this journey together. Because let me tell you, it is a journey. Like a lot of people, I'm excited to have 2020 in the rearview mirror, but I'm just as excited to see what 2021 has to offer. And I'm very grateful that I have you guys with me to experience it. Just as a reminder, if you would like to buy Seamless Transition, I will put my Venmo in the description for this video, and be on the lookout over the next few weeks for news about the manuscript and cover design, all kinds of different marketing stuff that we will start working on as we get closer to the book's release, which at the moment looks like it's going to be like early August, early September, somewhere in there. But regardless of when it is, it's happening, and it's cool to finally be able to say that. We did it, guys, and hopefully, if it all goes well, there will be a lot more stuff for us to do in the future. I'm Will, those are my thoughts, and I'll see you guys next month.